Good afternoon, YouTube. I'm still at Forest Hills Union Cemetery at Piqua. I just finished making a video on section 3 of the cemetery, so I'm gonna make another one right here. And I'm gonna probably go to the back of the cemetery in a little bit. Alma Emloy family, Edna Petter Pooter Ball, Christina H. Earhart, Charles Miller right here. So I'm not sure what the exact section this is, but I'm gonna make this one, then I'm gonna continue probably to another section of the cemetery. Robert Johnson right here. John Young, Tillman McFarland. So you can see they got some room to work with here. Some grave sites, still plenty of grave sites available. Anna Hemmelwright, Anna E. Goodsey. I got about 20 minutes left on this video, so I'm going to try and let this one run as long as I can. Margaret Miller, McGill family, Mom Carey, Dad William. So obviously, if their kids are going to be buried here or wherever they're at, there's plenty of room. But I assume some of them may not be buried here. I really don't know. But Ida Mae Jones, W.M. Southwick right here. Foster C. Hubble right here. Anna Larson. Father Milton S. Franklin. Franklin Bellert. Rittenhouse, Margaret and George. Hey, you see the bugs just crawling all over the grave site. They're really bad, as I've mentioned in some of the other videos. Looks like Lindley family, Leonard M. Lindley, I believe is how that's pronounced, I believe. Oh, here's another tree stump grave over here. Really unique. Bolden family, Albert and Carrie. Yeah, they had a couple of these in the cemetery. I noticed on the other side of the cemetery, they're really good. It's a shame they're hard to read the legibility of them, but these I think are really old. I don't know if they still do these kind of gravestones or not. I'm sure you can have them made, but I just don't know how common they are. I've been down to Woodland, down in Dayton, which you guys know that's where I live at, and I don't recall ever seeing a tree stump grave there. And despite this only being around 30 or 35 miles north of Dayton, the lady in the office really wasn't that familiar with Woodland. I had to kind of describe to her where it was at, you know, down by UD and Miami Valley Hospital in Dayton. But Frank Bellert, Rittenhouse, Margaret and George, Father Milton Franklin, Cahill Gray William and Sarah, Charles Berkshire, Effie Berkshire, so obviously husband and wife there, you can logically assume. I believe this is section, I'm going to get a look at that pillar in a second here. Copeland family, J. Calvin and Emma. You notice a lot of these grave sites too in here, like how the stone is written like this, kind of diagonal. Claudia Aspinall, which there's nothing wrong with that. Section 10, so I'm in section 10, I believe right now is what so I'm in section 10 of the cemetery right here. Harry G. Etter right here. Reiser, Raymond Reiser, Arthur Houston, Reiser. So right here, this is section 10C. So, baseball field right over there on that other side of the fence. And I believe right as the road goes up, that's the other side of the cemetery too, on the other side of the bike path. Robert Reed, Hazel Davis, Dilly Shear, William H. Freihofer, another German last name. Mary Babb Meyer, another German last name. That's an easy one. Cathcart, that might be another German last name too. Kukler right here. Edmund and Elizabeth, another German last name right here. William Colomaris. Father Addison Bell. Chase E. Christie. Murray family. Christ Warbach. Mary A. Filney right here. Ida Wolf. Cartwright, George and Martha. Christina Becht, Peter Becht. The Kukler grave, obviously a German last name. Weimer right here, that's another German last name. Peter and Nettie right here. Hartshorn grave site right here. Robert Leroy Harris. William Sowers, another German last name. Mary DeWeese, that's more Irish, along the Irish lines, which the German Catholics and Irish were both here at the same time, but they really didn't get along that well during their early years here because they both started separate churches. Christ Warbach, another German last name. Mary Filney, Irish name. Arthur Filney. Ida Mae Wolf. Murray family. Philip B. Blanche. Right here. Laura McFarland. Samuel Barnhart. Mother Clara Bell. Barnhart family, another German name. Wilbur S. Leadham. Harley Ballard, probably another German last name. Right here. Soyster family, Lydia John, another German last name. Father John Weller, another German last name. So you can see how important the Germans were in the founding of this part of Ohio, this part of the country. Yeah, Tracy family. Mary, Anna Vaughn, Elizabeth Vaughn, our sisters. Touchman family. Ressie A. Biggins family. Pepper family. Another German last name, Albert and Catherine. Right here. August Nordseek. Ella Colby Wicks. Christina B. Nason. Frederick. Anna Page. Right there on these grave sites. Charles F. McDowell. I think that's an Irish last name. Christie family, David and Clara. Gromes family. I think Olive and can't make out that first name on there, but looks like some fresh flowers on there at least. See a family over there that's putting out some fresh flowers on one of the other graves over there. Sarah Hilary Schoen Barger, another German last name. Tillman A. Hillary, another German last, well no, I don't think so on that one, but Larson, Hans Larson, that's definitely German. Larson family again. Charles E. Prosser, that's definitely German. Mary P. Prosser, that's definitely German right there. I believe on the other side of the bike, past the other side of the cemetery too. Louis Hagel, William C. Pryfogel, Drake, Bear, Efren, Grace, Bertha M. For Loafer, that's another German last name. Jacob and Clara, G. Frank Mack, Ara Mack, Pryfogel family, William Pryfogel, I'm not sure about that one, but Lappin family, I'm not sure. Roberts, that's German or either English. Samuel and Anna Collins family, Nancy and Alfonso. Yeah, there's a bike trail there on the other side. I believe the other side of the cemetery is right on that other side too. Clastia Jane Young. Here's another old grave site right here. I believe this is a World War I veteran. Yeah. See if I can make out the... it's going to be tough on this one to make it out. Actually, John something. Keshdall or Kendall, I believe. John Kendall, if I'm not mistaken there, but it's hard to make that one out. Addie, Judy Seif. Like I said, some of these are really hard to make out, but I'm doing my best. Some of these are really old. Edma May Skyver. Moxham. It would be interesting to ask some of the existing family members if they would want these, you know, these older style graves, you know, still restored, or if they could get the same style. Henry J. Feck, too. That's a French last name right there. Yes, there are French towns in this part of Ohio. Versailles and Russia, chiefly in Darke County and Shelby County. Roy Howard Young, Therian family, that could be a French last name. Heiga, Jinth, Anna. Blaney, twin boys, they look like they died as infants possibly. These could be some infant graves too, I'm not positive. Yeah, Earl Eichelberger, because there's not really much here, so these could be some infant. Well, some of these are, some of these aren't, I think. James Eichelberger, he still might be living. He'd be 83 if he was still living. Baby Dill, yeah, there's another infant grave right there. Baseball field over there. Don Carlos, white father. And Richard M. Yearsley right there. So I'm going to walk through a few more rows and I'm going to let this one run to the end because I've only got about 5 or 6 minutes left of battery. Brother Isaac Wolf right here. LaDonna Goins right here. So I may as well just cover the last of this. Elizabeth Belshinder. Bellschwinder. I believe I know that's German too. Bellschwinder. Some of these names are really hard to pronounce, but I think that might be correct. Jacob Bellschwinder. Obviously her husband or brother, Cora Harvey, right here. The Baird family, Russell and Mary. Roy, infant son of Roy and Mary Clark, so another infant grave. Private for Norman Davis, private first class U.S. Army, World War I. He lived a long time to July 20th, 1977, so he lived almost 90 years old, or maybe, yeah. Joseph Gilliam, Jeanette R. Davis, husband Norman Davis, World War I veteran. Davis family again, Charles and Ida Allen, right here. Sister Abby Davis right here. She lived, looks like 79 years old. Harry R. Rout, Dennis C. Mucci, John Liberick, Lee family, Viola and Cloyd, right there. Verily Johnson mother, Francis M. Dobson. Looks like some flowers that have been just put out recently, as well as some flowers that have been put out over here. Nancy M. Being really pretty flowers on this site too. Forrest C. Adams. The Miranda family, Forrest C. I'm not even sure how that name is pronounced. Elo. The Bosch family, Father Christ, Mother Rosina. The Roker family, Leonard, Barbara. Vaughn family. Looks like Thomas Rattry. Philip Feit or Feet. I don't know how that's pronounced. Swartz, another German, last name John and Jeannie. Looks like the last two numbers of John's grave have been scratched off. I don't know why, because surely he's not living after being born in 1876. Cologne family. I'm not even sure how that's pronounced, but Joseph and, you know, Adeline right here. Crookson Hank family. Viola Samuel. I think I got about 2 or 3 minutes left on this video. Looks like WMT Ewan, so probably William Ewan. Sarah Ewan. Jean Moss or Jenny Moss Jean. Morpin family. William R. Morpin, Fanny Morpin. Huffman family. I don't know if they're any relation to the Huffman family in Dayton. They were a very famous Dayton family, and this is around 30 miles north of here, or 35 miles north of Dayton. But John C. and Harriet Huffman right here. Kenneth Coburn. Kennedy family, Philip and Anna. I think I got about 2 minutes left on this one, then I'm gonna go to another part of the cemetery. Clemens family, A. Emerson, Viola, daughter Zana. Can't tell if that's a grave site right there or not. You never know, it's always a possibility, but infant George David, son of Leonard and Mabel Robinson. Clemens family, I believe I showed that on the other side. George D. Bowles, mother Bertha May Pullen right here. Elker family, Oscar and Bonnie, another German last name, obviously. John Carsity, Prince family, Joseph and Rose. Henry family, George and Catherine. Slaybaugh family, Bertie and Lydia. Middlebrook, John and Lillian. Author L. Jennings.